Alrighty guys, so I just thought I'd make a real quick video here talking about getting a new rig. So I've kind of decided at this point that I'm going to go ahead and sell all my crypto here. If not all of it, maybe just I'll keep a little bit of it. And that comes to just Bitcoin. I'm still going to go ahead and keep holding on to my Chia for now. But I did kind of want to get started on a new RTX3060 LHR rig. And so I did want to kind of do a quick cost analysis. So today is March 5th, it is 9:24 p.m. Central Time, and so this is going to be based off of right now what all the prices are. Obviously, this is going to fluctuate over time, right? So let's go and see how much it'll cost someone to build a brand new RTX 3060 rig. So this is not going to keep in mind how you can hunt deals and do all that kind of jazz. This is just, you want everything right now, you go out and you buy it. Right, and so this is kind of what the analysis is going to be. So I did leave off a couple things here, and if you're at home and you're trying to follow along, just keep in mind that you do also need to have RAM, and you also need to have your risers here. I believe those are the only two things that I'm missing, but I'll go ahead and double check into that. But regardless, so first things first, let's go ahead and see the case. So we only need one case here, right? And the PSUs, I usually use two 1300 watt PSUs, so we got that going for us, and then we'll just need one PSU. And RAM, I'm going to put 0 on here. I don't know why I actually included that there. Let me go ahead and get rid of this entire row here. And so RAM, I'm going to use 0 because when I bought my previous rig, I bought 2 sticks of RAM, and so I'm going to end up using one of those on each of these, right? So I don't need to personally buy another one. Now, processor, we only need one. RTX 3060, let's do a build out for 8, and then an SSD, we just need one of them. So here for RAM, you're only going to need 1 stick of RAM, and for risers, you're going to need at least 8 if you're doing 8 GPUs, right? But this is kind of something that you can scale up, if that makes sense. So over time, you can kind of build this out, and that's kind of the way that I'm going to be looking at this. So let's go ahead and do our cost here, right? So for everything, let's go ahead and see our case here. So last time I used a case like this, right, where it was actually a little cheaper than this, and basically what it used is that it has your PSU on one side, motherboard in the middle, all your GPUs on top. Now the problem with this frame was, and if you watch some of my other videos, you can see that it doesn't actually fit 2 PSUs in it for whatever reason, right? And so I was kind of looking around, and I noticed this one fit 2 of them, but for some reason this one is not available. So if I, or is it available now? I'm hoping it is. Oh, well, last one here, right? So, that's probably not going to happen. It'll probably be gone by the time I ordered this, but regardless, right? So we got this going for us. We got $65 for this rig right here, and this is not a rig. This is just, the rig frame, right? And this should hold 2 PSUs, which is kind of what I was looking for. So that's awesome. Let me go ahead and add that into our cost here. So that's going to be about $65, right? And this whole row right here is going to be in cash. So there we go. So now when it comes to power supplies, right, I don't actually have a tab for that open here, but let's go ahead and look these up because they're those 1300. Sorry about that. I completely forgot what we were looking for here. Last time I used the EVGA 1300 watt ones, and it's their Supernova series. And so, just looking at this first one, is about $260 each. Let's see. Not images, we want to go shopping here. I don't know if we're going to be able to find any cheaper. That looks like it's about it. Maybe this is a little bit cheaper here. It does look like it is a slightly different model. I'll have to double check what I got last time, but I think really it's going to be around $260 here, right? That's kind of what we're looking at. So let me go ahead and add that in here. We're going to say 260, and I do want to say that this is going to be total cost right here. And this is going to be equal to this times this right here, right? And then we can go ahead and autofill that all the way down. So regardless, now we've got our PSUs coming here, and now we've got to look at our motherboard. So we looked at that. Our motherboard, I was thinking about going for this again. I had an ASRock H110 Pro BTC Plus, and so it is a very expensive board. So that's something that I need to kind of shop around on. Let's go ahead and add this in as 550 right now so I can save this 550. But let's go ahead and see if we can find any other ones kind of, where are we? Right here. So that's one of them. Even more expensive. That's great. Yeah, I mean it's kind of insane. So really, that's what you're looking at, about $550 for those motherboards, and that's about what it's been at. So anyways, that's fine. I guess we're gonna have to keep that in. Now for the processor that works for this one, I believe, is gonna be this Intel 7th Gen Celeron. Actually, it's in one of my older videos, and I do have that. So you just gotta make sure the CPU socket's gonna match here. So kind of looking at this guy right here, Intel B250. What are we looking at here? I don't know if this is a B250, if I want to be real with you guys. Let's see, what type of socket is that? So it does take 7th and 6th gen Intel Celeron, so that is a good sign. And let's see if we have any info on that socket. I don't believe it has anything written here. So obviously, if you're doing this research, make sure you're a lot better on that. Seriously do your research, right? So again, so if we're just going to look at our processor here, that's going to be about $135. So let's go ahead and add that in here. And actually, this reminds me, one other thing that we are going to need, which I completely forgot about, actually, is that we are going to also need basically it's a Psu splitter. I know that doesn't really make any sense, but I'll kind of explain. So what that basically does is that you're able to run two PSUs using just one power button, so you don't have to try to keep powering them on at the same time and all that jazz. Basically, it's almost like it's just a jumper, and it allows the GPUs to know when to turn on and everything like that. So we're going to need one of those for this build. So regardless, now getting into our RTX 3060s, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at these. Now these, we are going to kind of just take an average of the cheapest 8 that are here. So I just went buy it now, condition, I hit new, and I just did shipping and price lowest. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this. This is going to be about 615 plus 625. I'm not going to be super exact with these because these fluctuate over time. Another 625 here. Let's see, that is about 630, and then another 630 right there, and then another 630 right there, and then another 630 right there, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we just got to get one more, and that's another 630 right there, right? Or 635 actually, I believe. So regardless, we do that, and now we can go ahead and we can divide that by 8, and that ends up being $627.50. So let's say 628 on that. So our cost is going to be 628 per GPU on that, and so that is going to be obviously the bulk of the cost, as you can tell. So now when we get into an SSD, I'm just going to go with the cheapest 256 gig I can go with. You can probably even go smaller than this if you wanted to, but they're just not that expensive, so I'd rather have the extra space in case I decide to use the computer for anything else. So again, we're looking at about $30 when it comes to that. So let's go ahead and click 30 here. And now let's say eBay, we're going to click dual PSU adapter. And so as you can see, these are all basically the same thing. Again, I'm just going to come to buy it now, and I'm going to change our condition to new, and then we're going to just go ahead and sort by the lowest shipping. And so I don't really want to use something like this. What I do want to use is basically this right here, right? So it's about $5, ships from China. Probably take a long time to get here, but I mean, that's fine. So, I mean, just if we want to kind of look at the general prices between $5 and $10, right? So let's just go and throw $10 onto there because I'm sure there's shipping costs and all that jazz too. And I apologize about that. I had my address up there, so I just thought I'd kind of skip over that. So we can also check here, and they're about $8 to $10, and they can get here super quick, right? It is, like a Saturday or something? Yeah, it's a Saturday today, so it can get here by Monday. So that's pretty quick, about, let's just call that $10 like we said. So this should be basically everything to get, all of our... this should basically be everything to get our GPU running here, or sorry, our mining rig running here. So let's go ahead and click total cost there. This is actually not total. This is going to be just our cost. And also I do want to rename this and say that this is for an 8 GPU RTX 3060 LHR, right? So that's what our plan is for that. Now total cost is going to be equal to, let's just go ahead and get the sum of this through this right here, and we can go ahead and take that, and then the cost plus tax is just going to be equal to this number times 1.0625, and that's here in Texas. You might have a different tax rate where you're at, but really we're looking at about $6,730 for this rig. And what this rig should be able to output, that is the next question. So we can just go here and say nice hash profitability calculator, and obviously this is going to go up and down over time, and so this is not going to be a very good estimate, but let's go ahead and say RTX3060 here, and that's an LHR model, and we're going to be looking at getting 8 of those, right? So 8 of those. Let's do it and go ahead and do a calculation here. So we are looking at about $7.87, and so if we look at what the payback period on that's going to be, we got 67.30, basically 67.30, and then we can divide that by what we got here, 787, which is going to be 7.87. And if we do that, you're looking at about a 2-year ROI on this, which is insane, right? So that is a really long time, over 2 years. I mean, nearing 2.5 years. So again, whether this makes sense for you to do or not, that's something you got to sort out for yourself. I don't know if I would recommend it personally, but I'm kind of stupid. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and go for it and, sell all my coins and just kind of go ahead and buy it. So if we kind of look here, we can go to my Coinbase account here. Let's just go to my normal Coinbase. We can take a look at how much we have right now. So I just did a transfer from my NiceHash account, and I got all my assets here to our normal account. So we are at nearly 0.1 Bitcoin, real close. So our balance is about $3,700. Now, if we take a look at this, obviously we can't afford that, right? So we got $3,700 to spend. But now what we can do is we can start kind of editing this down. So let's say that we just go with 5 of these or something. And actually, even here, I would only need 1 PSU probably if I'm going for 5. So that's still a little bit expensive. 3. Okay, I mean, let's take a look at 4. All right, 4 falls right on the edge. And like I said, I'm sure we can save a little bit of money here and there. And, you can always cheap out on your SSDs. You can always, get maybe a cheaper motherboard, stuff like that. But I think this will come close enough that we should hopefully be able to run like this. So like I said, this should be able to give me 4 RTX 3060s that would be running. And so what that would do is that let's go ahead and drop this number down to 4 and take a look at what that is. So about $3.98. And now the thing is that we want to add that to what we're currently getting at NiceHash, right? So currently I am getting, and this is obviously a very terrible estimate because it's going to only look at the past week, but let's say over the past week I've been getting $13.46. So we can say $13.46, and then we can also add in this right here, which is going to be $3.98. Now, one thing that I do want to do is that now $17.44 will be what I'll be making per day at that point. But I do want to see these RTX 3060s. It's $6.28 on that. So let's see how long it'll take me to get another GPU in. So about a month, a little bit over a month. So that's how many days it's going to take. And then I'll hopefully be able to afford another GPU, and we'll hit that up to 4, and then it just starts going a little bit exponential, right? I'll be up to 5, and then once you're at 5, now we're at $4.92. What is that? Adding about $1 into this. So let's just make this $18.44. So at that point, shave 2 days off of that monthly. So regardless, I think we're very, quickly getting to a point where we're getting close to being able to earn about, or I guess add a GPU per month, which is, really exciting. Obviously, that is not going to be including the cost that it's going to be to build the rest of the rig, right? So once we hit our 8 GPUs, we are going to have to put in that huge investment again of getting another case, getting more RAM, getting another CPU, getting, all that jazz. But the main point is that, once we have a rig running, now, again, we're making this one with 4, let's say, that gives us enough money to just keep going and get to 8. And then by the time we're at 8, like I said, we can, run back and kind of build out the rest of our stuff. And actually, that would be kind of an interesting comparison to do here too, right? That let's say that we're looking at just the cost to build the new rig. We're not looking at our RTX 3060 here, and let's just say we keep it at 1 PSU for this one, right? That is going to be about $1,000. So it's really not that bad. It's, again, maybe, I guess, on when you're trying to build another rig, is going to be about a 3-month pause before you can, before I can afford to do that. But like I said, I think this should work out, and I hope this helps out a little bit for people on just kind of deciding on how to do things. Like I said, you should definitely hunt for cheaper deals. This motherboard especially is extremely expensive. It really doesn't have to be. You can make do with a lot of other motherboards. But like I said, I decided to go this route, and this is the route that I've been, sticking to for some time. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue on with this. And again, like I mentioned before, make sure you don't forget your RAM, you don't forget your risers. Some of you, if you're using a non-LHR card, you will have to get your dummy HDMIs. You might need HDMI cables, you might need an Ethernet cable, a switch. Those are all kind of things that you might need. Just a bunch of things to consider that, not everyone always does. Again, let's say that you want to boot Windows, you also want to boot, some other software, OS like NiceHash OS, or let's say you want to use whatever all the other Ethereum mining ones are. I'm kind of blanking out here, but regardless, if you want to use any of those, you are going to need another USB stick, or you're going to need another SSD, whatever you decide to do on that. So like I said, I hope this helped. I really do. And thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thank you. Bye.